Good afternoon, everyone, or good morning, where you may be, or still may be morning. So, anyway, my name is Woody Collins, and I'm with Congo Helping Hands, and this is another edition of talking about Congo. And the subject that wanted to talk about was kind of what I had been uh, discussing, mentioned yesterday, and also uh, something that's been on my mind. One of the things is the polio. I had mentioned polio in one of the episodes where I was saying that polio was one of the killers in the Congo, and I had talked about just briefly, but what has been announced and is that polio has been eradicated. Wild polio has been eradicated from Africa, and as you know, Congo is in Africa, and so it made me start thinking about some of the things that I had seen in the past when I was first went to the Congo, and I thought about Congo and polio. I wonder if there is how many people is still suffering from that. But I remember while I was there, I did see some people that had suffered from Congo. And as a matter of fact, I want to show you a picture here, and it's going to be kind of interesting, I hope. Uh, this is one of our first time when I was in the Congo, and this is my daughter Leah, and we were there, and this is in 2002 when we went back to the Congo, and it's in August of 2002, and we did not plan it, but when we got there, there was a polio vaccination program, and the idea for it was kick polio, and it has a soccer player on the uniform and so forth, kicking a ball. And country, and they were talking about kick polio. So this is Dr. Bernard on the left-hand side, and we went down to the village center, which was near the hospital, and we took all the polio stuff, the vaccinations, well, not the droplets and everything, the vaccinations, and we took those down to the village center, and all the people came out to the village center, and we gave them drops of polio to the children. And so this was an interesting time, and it was one of those things of my first, uh, you know, polio vaccination program. And later, when I joined Rotary, immediately connected to Rotary and doing vaccination programs. So this is early on in 2002 when we first went to Bulape. I want to show you another picture, and this was in 2008. This is when I went out to one of the clinics. We went out to inaugurate a clinic that had just been built, and we went out to the clinic, and we all standing around waiting for the official ceremonies to start, and all these kids were lining up on the fence out in front of the clinic, and I'm sitting there just kind of nonchalantly, and I noticed that all the other kids were agitated and moving around, but this one kid uh, was not. And I go, I wonder what's wrong with him, why he's not moving around, because all the other kids were being kids, playing with one another, pushing them, pulling, doing all those type things. But this one kid was just then. Then finally I looked, and he had flip flops on his hands. And I thought, oh, that's strange. I said, well, I guess that's a way to keep up with them. And then finally, after staring so long, trying to be nonchalant by not staring, I don't know whether I had my sunglasses on or not, but he finally moved, and I found out that he had polio and he could not walk. He was basically in that position that you see him in, but he did have mobility with his hands, and he used his hands more as his legs. And so that was another situation, and that was in September 2008 when we were there inaugurating this clinic. And I thought, wow, I said, there is a case of, not looking at how old he was, but I immediately thought back to 2002 when we were there in the village giving out the polio vaccinations, and thinking about him, that he was somewhere slipped in either before. I think he was much older than that. So, but he had not been vaccinated because I think he probably was a 10 to 12 years old, and this was only 6 years ago. But anyway, it just kind of dawned on me as to how things uh, people can slip through the crack and when they don't have the necessary vaccinations. And I think about that quite often when we saw that. So that's the two pictures I wanted to show you and kind of show you what was actually going on. And let me get back to my picture. Okay. And but that's kind of the stuff that you go run into when you're in a developing country. And as I said, they just the WHO, they actually had they did a screaming 1 hour program this morning here. Uh, this morning where they were talking about the polio uh, being rid from Africa, and also they were talking that I think the bulk of the program they were going to take questions and answers about the COVID-19 pandemic. But I just wanted to kind of bring those back to view, is that some of the things that we take for granted here, we have not seen, and I had not seen someone victim of polio since I was probably a young child. And here was in Africa, it was still going on, and it just been within the last earlier this week, they officially declared that wild polio was eradicated from Africa. So it just was, memories, things that you think about, and things that you're grateful for, and things that we really take for granted here in the United States. So that's it for today, Thursday, the 27th of August, and as always, I ask you to be careful, take care of yourself, and be safe, and take care. This will be it for today, and I will see you tomorrow on Friday and with another episode of talking about Congo.